Ugly scenes at the Amsterdam Arena, Jules. Ajax v Feyenoord is abandoned with Arne Slot's team 3-0 up after home fans fire flares on the pitch to get the game intentionally abandoned.
Yeah, so there's a protocol in the Netherlands for things like that. First, it was a plastic cup that was thrown onto the pitch, so you get a warning. Then the game resumed. There's flares on the pitch, so it's the second warning, and the warning says if that happens the third time, the game is abandoned.
It's like the protocol for discriminatory chants, racism, and so on.
I know you love a protocol, so
I love this protocol.
I thought I remind people, and like you said, third time, game was abandoned. They were 3-0 down at home. Chaos off the pitch. Obviously, we talk about Mislintat just after, but Maurice Stijn being a terrible manager. The players being all over the place. They're 13th or 14th in the table. And then Feyenoord being very good, as we know, just battering them. And then we saw even uglier scenes even by the ultras trying to get in, and some of them managing to get into the stadium, towards the offices, the VIP area, the hospitality, all of that. I mean, poor Johan Cruyff probably turning into his grave. It's just, I don't know where this club is going.
Yeah. Just to say about the protocol, since I do love my protocol.
You love a protocol.
One of the risks with the protocol is it ultimately empowers fans to get games abandoned, and that applies to the racism protocol. It applies to all of them because it's all the same protocol. That is the risk. That is the price you have to pay here. I've seen this before about people trying to intentionally get games abandoned. I remember it with Inter Milan derby, as you know. Of
course, yeah.
I think fans feel really mistreated by the club and by the choices made by the club.
Yeah.
But the question, this is obviously not the way to voice it, but I think there's a serious governance issue at Ajax. And you can't just say, oh, look, it's all hooligans, blah, blah, blah. I think there are very serious issues, and this club needs to take a step back and ask themselves what they're doing. It's not just about the results.
And Marco van Basten, after the game, I mean, we know what Marco van Basten is like when he talks publicly, saying like we should stop professional football in the Netherlands. This can't continue. We saw it a lot. Remember last season in the Cup, in the league as well. I think that's probably a bit too far, and you can't do it anyway. But there's serious stuff. Clearly, they didn't do enough last season after all the incidents, because it's happening again. And we're only 5 weeks in the new season. So something has to happen to change it.
Yeah. And I think one of the risks also, because people naturally, dock them points. Okay, yeah, fine. Dock them points. But you can dock Ajax points. That's not going to make angry Ajax fans behave.
Yeah, calmer. Yeah.
You know, they knew this game was going to get... When they were 3-0 down, they got this game abandoned on purpose to make a statement. They knew they were going to lose this game. They got it abandoned. They will presumably get a points penalty, probably play behind closed doors.
Yeah,
they won't get to go and see the game. All these things are going to happen as a result.
Yeah.
So this whole idea of just blaming the clubs, dock them points, find them. It's stupid people not understanding the problem, not understanding the dynamic. But Van Basten's right. There's a lot of work to be done here.
Sticking with Ajax, I mentioned Sven Mislintat, the sporting director. He was fired on the spot, Gab, after a couple of months, 3 months maybe in the job.
I don't know. Maybe they found out he was German.
Or maybe that he was not very good at his job.
Or that, he showed up wearing sandals with socks as he's wont to do.
Or maybe signing players with conflict of interest via an agency that kind of owns shares in Sven Mislintat's own company.
So Sven Mislintat, formerly of Borussia Dortmund, formerly of Arsenal. I thought the absolute worst combination of personalities. It's either going to be brilliant or it's going to be an absolute disaster. Was when Arsenal paired him and Raul Sanllehi up. Yeah. They obviously, it was Ivan who brought them together, right?
Yeah,
I think before he left. Let's get two guys who are completely different, and then they'll bounce ideas off each other. No, and look, I think there's a reason why I think Raul Sanllehi has pretty much disappeared, right?
I mean, that is somewhere in Spain, I think I saw.
And Mislintat's heading the same way. I'm not saying these people are incompetent, but the reason Mislintat was let go wasn't just the signings, is he supposedly went into the dressing room and told the players that Maurice Stijn's job was in jeopardy and he was about to get sacked. Yeah. You cannot do that.
He told the keeper, you'll be out of the team. I guarantee you.
It's just not your job. You cannot do that. Certainly not when, look, he's always been, I mean, I've never met the guy, but I know plenty of people who have.
Yeah.
He's always been kind of like an eccentric sort of mad professor type, but while also looking like an aging hippie, which is kind of what he looks like. But you can't be doing stuff like that Not at a club that you've been at for 2 months. Maybe Monchi could do that at Sevilla in his heyday, but this guy, no, not at Ajax.
Definitely.